Vortex, I just saw another person smoking a cigarette. There is hope for this world. Here's the thing with cigarettes, okay? Everybody knows that they're bad. It's kind of obvious. You know, you're inhaling smoke. I don't understand how anybody could have any misgivings about that. You know, like, oh, that's healthy. I'm sure that this is good for me. You know? Like, I remember my parents telling me, like, oh, but people didn't know back then that it was so hazardous to their health. And I'm like, how could you not know that that's hazardous to your health? Like, there's a reason, like, why you suffocate if you're in a room full of smoke, you know? But I will say this about it. If you're doing that to yourself, you know that that's what you're doing. And so they really don't need to put all these warning labels on the boxes of cigarettes as if people don't know that they're bad. But everything else, they advertise like, oh, it's good for you. And then, you know, people up and die. And then a bunch of people that took the same thing are like in denial of that occurrence. That, you know, universal occurrence that is occurring quite often. All right? So all these products that we use on a regular basis are not very good for our well-being. But, you know, we live in a country that is obsessed with instant gratification. We were just talking about this in my church, how, like, China is going to take over the world because China is patient as fuck. And we just don't have that patience at all. And honestly, like, I mean, the fact that, like, I still have a flip phone and people are just so flabbergasted by this information, that just kind of shows that, like, not only do people not know how to think outside the box, like, people can't even, like, fathom this idea that, like, you don't have to do what everybody else is doing. You don't have to go along with that if you don't want to. But it's not just the smartphone. It's about, like, the whole mindset of getting a smartphone, the whole mindset of having to have what everybody else has and going along with the world and making things more convenient for yourself. It might seem like it's a good idea short term, but long term, it's really not. So if you think about all these products that China makes that Americans use on a regular basis, and then they have the audacity to whine about China and balloons and all kinds of other stupid crap that they say in the media that's probably not even happening, okay? So I like Chinese people a lot. There's this sushi bar right up the street from my house that I go to, like, every single week, and I gladly give them a huge sum of my hard-earned capitalist money, right? I gladly give them my money. Because they actually appreciate my business. So, yeah, because you tip them like 50%. Yeah. Well, it's important to appreciate. And money is a good sign of that. I wish it wasn't the only sign, but it seems to be like a pretty, like, universally recognized sign of appreciation. But yeah, I know that I seem like I have a really low opinion of Americans, because I do. I'm an American and I'm ashamed. And I don't know why anybody is not ashamed to be an American. If you look at just the long list of problems that Americans have that they don't seem to be the slightest bit aware of, and they're not willing to do anything about once they become aware. So yeah, there's a reason to be antagonistic towards a group of society that is like voluntarily naive. And it's like so many of them can call themselves all sorts of things, but unless they actually apply those principles, unless they actually like practice what they preach and stand by the things that they say, then their words are essentially vapor. And so that makes perfect sense why so many retards are vaping. Yes, you're retarded. If you vape, you're a retarded person. You should just kill yourself. But anyway, yeah, smoke cigarettes. Cigarettes are better for you than vapor. Just because they don't smell as good as that cotton candy shit. Dude, there's so many types of vapor. It's crazy. Like, the majority of people that I work with are addicted to their little vape pen or whatever. It's like, it looks like a little baby bottle. And they're always puffing on it. I mean, just imagine, like, people that are smoking cigarettes as much as they puff on the vape pen. Okay? If I were to put those two things side by side, you know, like, of all the times that I see, like, my coworkers hitting that vape pen, it's like if you replace that with cigarettes, they'd probably be smoking like 5 packs a day. So it doesn't help people quit smoking. That's bullshit. Usually the people that attempt to quit smoking by vaping just end up vaping more, or they end up doing both. And most of the people that vape do it because it's a fad and everybody else is doing it, which, once again, why do I hate Americans? Right? They just go along because it's cool. It's so cool. Burning in hell is not cool, bitch. It's not cool. I'm not saying that you're gonna burn in hell if you vape, but I wish that were the case. That's another segment that Dante couldn't include in his Inferno, okay? The segment of people that vape, alright? Because he couldn't have predicted that back then. But I mean, just look at people that vape. They look so stupid. They look almost as stupid as people that are on their phones nonstop, okay? I know that I sound really sadistic sometimes, but, like, I think about, like, these people of the past that are, like, responsible for creating really bad things. You know, like, Margaret Sanger's responsible for birth control and all that. But it's like, dude, was she wrong, though? I mean, it is wrong. Eugenics is wrong, okay? Eugenics is wrong. Abortion is wrong. Euthanasia is wrong. Suicide's wrong. But at the same time, it's like, look at society. It's like they're going along with all of that. They're going along with eugenics. They're going along with abortion. They're going along with suicide. They just don't know it. These people are alive, but they might as well be dead. So while I'm not in favor of these horrible things, I can understand why those people came up with it, because it's understandable. When you look at society willingly self-destructing and they don't even care, can you really blame some Nazi eugenicist for going, maybe we should cut down the population?